welcome to the arbitration page. Today, our guest is Nyasha, a practitioner from Zimbabwe. He's been in the practice for 15 years, and we can't wait to hear how he got into the arbitration space and what he's doing in the arbitration space. Fun fact, when we met him, he said he had been watching the arbitration page, right?
Yes.
If Nasha is watching the arbitration page from Zimbabwe, you should too. Yes, so you're welcome, Nasha.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
And can you tell us how you became an arbitration practitioner?
Okay. So when I started my practice, which was 15 years ago, obviously as a junior lawyer, you do a lot of litigation. So over a number of years, I realized that litigation was not my thing. I believed in just resolving disputes without the need to go to court. So that's when I developed an interest in arbitration. So I think in the third year of my practice, I started to do more of mediation between the parties and trying to resolve the matters in the office rather than going to court. So from that moment, that's when the interest in arbitration developed, and I began to grow it over a long period of time, up to now, where I believe I've done quite a lot in terms of arbitration. And I'm still building. I'm not yet there, but I believe I've accumulated enough experience in the arbitration space.
Yeah. And did you do some specific trainings?
Yes. So I've done two. I have two diplomas. One in domestic arbitration, which was offered by the Association of Arbitrators in Southern Africa. Then I also have a diploma in international commercial arbitration. Yeah. So those are the two qualifications that I have in arbitration. Yeah.
And I believe you're also a member of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators.
Yes, I'm a member of the Chartered Institute, the UK branch.
Right.
Yes, I've since submitted my application for fellowship. Yes, so I'm just awaiting the outcome.
We can't wait for the M to change to F. It's such a big deal.
It is.
Yes.
It is, especially after all the hard work.
I know. And talking about hard work, I see you've been around a lot, been to a lot of conferences. What's in it for you, really?
Okay, what I can tell you is it works.
It works.
It works, yeah. Why?
Whatever it works.
It works, yeah, obviously, because you can't preach about arbitration and not be attending these conferences. The importance of attending these conferences is one, networking. You need to obviously meet with those who have been in the game. That is the arbitration space. You need to learn from them. You need to be mentored by them. You also need to discuss ideas on how you can grow your profile. Because before you are appointed to handle any arbitration matter, people must know about you. They must know that you are an expert in which area of arbitration. So it is important to attend those conferences. And that's why you see that I've been trying to attend a lot of these conferences, but it comes at a cost, obviously.
Yes, it does.
yeah, it comes at a cost, but it's worth it at the end of the day when you sit down and look at the results that come out of it. Yeah. So yeah, it's very important, and obviously I would recommend fellow colleagues to attend. You might not attend all the conferences, but it's always good to plan and possibly attend one or two in a year so that you grow yourself and also you grow your network in the process.
Yeah. And talking about the expense, which you have mentioned, I think that a lot of young arbitration practitioners have a problem with that because you want to attend the conferences, you really do, but when you look at the flight costs, the cost of accommodation, the cost of the conference itself, it's a bit discouraging. what are some strategies that you put in place? I know obviously you're 15 years, so I mean, you have a lot of money. But how are the younger ones going to get into these conferences?
Okay, thank you for that. So sometimes at the end of the day, it's not about the money, it's all about planning. So for me personally, what I do is around December, November of before the new year, I sit down and look at the upcoming events, especially for IBA and other institutions. They actually advertise. So you get a picture of the upcoming events.
IBA is International Bar Association.
Yes, International Bar Association. So it allows you to plan. And for starters, you don't have to go international. Maybe you can just do regional conferences for a start. I'll use myself as an example. The conference that I was attending it's in Lusaka, right? So I'm from Zimbabwe. So it's not very expensive to fly in from Zimbabwe or even get on a bus. Because I think
Can you get a bus from Zimbabwe?
yes,
to
you can
Lusaka?
actually, yeah, it's about
Okay.
4 hours.
Oh,
It's actually because Harare is about 440 kilometers from here.
okay.
Yeah, so it's close. But I'm just giving an example of what you can do. So you need to plan. You need to plan. You need to plan well ahead of time, and it's cheaper to buy a ticket earlier than later. So
That's
if you
right.
plan, yeah, so 6 months before the conference, you can get yourself a ticket, and towards the conference, you can apply for your registration. And you can get a B&B. You don't need to be in a 5-star
No.
hotel. The important thing is you attend the conference and you network with your colleagues. So that has worked for me, and I would encourage fellow colleagues to do the same because it works. It works, yeah.
It's interesting that you mentioned bus because my first international arbitration conference was in Nigeria. And from Ghana to Nigeria, there's a bus actually. And I was willing and ready to take a bus until there were some interventions that got me a flight.
Yeah.
But that was the kind of determination. And I think that if we put ourselves in a group of, say, 10, 20, and we are on a bus and there's some protection, even if you are scared or something of that sort, you should be able to make it to the Nigerian one at least the neighboring countries.
Certainly. I think the perception is that if a practitioner has 15 years experience, they have money. Sometimes
Yes.
you might not yet be making the money that people think of. Yes, so sometimes it's also about sacrifice and determination, like what you have said. So you just need to make some sacrifices, and you also need to be determined. Yes, so I'm sure you'll get there if you have those two qualities. Yes, so don't look at the pocket sometimes, just look at what you want to achieve, and I'm sure you'll get there.
Thank you so much for that advice. I'm sure we'll be attending more conferences. Now, how did you get your first arbitration appointment?
Okay, so it's fun how I got it, and now it's through this networking thing. So
It actually works.
it works. It works. So it just came in as an email. Yes, it just came in as an email, unexpected.
Did you think it was like a prank or something?
No, yeah, I thought it was a prank. And I had to call some people just to find out whether it was indeed an appointment. And yeah, it turned out to be an appointment. So after the matter, that's when I sought to find out, and it turned out that it was a colleague of mine that I had met at some conference who actually referred me as a young and upcoming practitioner that needed to be given a chance. So I got the chance, and I utilized the opportunity, and the rest is history.
Oh, well done. Did you have some mentors along the way? People who helped?
Yes, so mentorship is also very important. Yeah, mentorship is very important. My mentors primarily were those from within my jurisdiction, that is Zimbabwe. So I made sure that I had those interactions with them. of great importance. Some the two were of great importance. They were former judges. So I might not mention their names, but they really assisted me. Just that talk, that sit down with them, that discussion, them explaining how you go around the process of arbitration and all. Because there's one thing that we fail to realize, that getting the qualification, that is the diploma, is not the end. You need the experience. So what you actually learn from a class might actually be different from the practical side of things. So you really need to talk to some who have walked that road before, for you to achieve what you want to achieve. Yeah, so mentorship is very important, and I would highly recommend that the young practitioners identify potential mentors and have a sit down and discuss and agree on a roadmap on how they are going to go around it.
So if someone wants you to be their mentor, how do they approach you?
Okay, currently I actually have two people that I'm mentoring. Yes, I will share with you my email. They can send me an email, then we can discuss. And yeah, I'm willing to help, because I've also been helped to be where I am currently. So yeah, I am very much available. Yes. Yeah.
I'm sure there are a lot of young arbitration practitioners, especially in Zimbabwe, who might think that probably the CIR chapter is not there or branch, so they don't know how they're going to go about becoming arbitration practitioners. I'd like you to look into the camera and speak to those people and some others in other African countries where arbitration might not be their forte. How can they grow their practice even if arbitration is not the favorite in their country yet?
Okay, my advice to the young practitioners is it's important that you associate yourself with the people in the arbitration space. Like myself, there's no branch in my country, but through networking with other colleagues, I had to go through the UK branch, and it really assisted me, because I got to know the processes that are involved for me to be associated with the CIA branch in UK. And for Zimbabwe, we are currently in the process. We are in an engagement process, and I'm sure very soon we will have a branch in Zimbabwe. I've also managed to talk to some colleagues in Zambia, and we are actually working on assisting us in setting up a branch in Zimbabwe. So they must not shun away from arbitration because they perceive that there is no branch in Zimbabwe. We can talk, and I believe in the power of numbers. So even if our numbers increase, then it means that we also have an opportunity to be able to get a branch status. So it's in our hands as young practitioners to work towards that. Yeah.
So when Nyasha is not managing the law firm because you're a managing partner or sitting as an arbitrator or counsel in an arbitration case, what will we find him doing?
Okay, so this is going to be funny. So I'm a farmer.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a farmer. I run a piggery project with my wife.
Okay.
Yes, so that's what I do. And normally on Thursdays or Fridays, I also play golf.
Okay.
I make sure that
Golf
I
is
get.
for the rich people.
No, it's
now
not.
It's not. You are part of the
It's
rich
not.
folk.
No. It's not for the rich folks. But yeah, I play golf, and every Saturday, you always find me at my farm.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I do, and I actually take off the suit or the fancy clothes and put on my work suit and gumboots and get working. Yeah, so that's what I do. Yeah.
Awesome. That's nice to hear. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We look forward to seeing so many young practitioners learn from you.
Thank you.
Thank you.